this morning, we have a level 2 risk for severe storms from the Triangle area southward, so it is a WRAL weather alert day. I'll show you what the risks will be and what time the storms begin.
And we have breaking news this morning. A police chase ended in a crash on Rock Quarry Road. What police say happened right before the driver sped away.
The Wake County Sheriff's Office is looking to fill more than 80 positions. Coming up, how you can secure your job interview today. Caitlin Clark experienced some ups and downs in her first professional game. The struggles she faced in her much anticipated WNBA debut. 10 turnovers there, far from ideal, but she has a good perspective on it. She says she's going to learn from it and move on. Good morning, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. We have a lot to tell you about on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. That's new this morning. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, thanks for spending the early part of your Wednesday with us. We're learning. We're moving on. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We got past a lot of rain yesterday and more on the way later today.
Yeah, we saw 1 to 2 inches as an average. There were even some pockets where it was a little bit heavier than that, at least radar indicated. We do have quiet conditions this morning, but there's a warm front that's down south and producing a little bit of rain into South Carolina. Some of that may begin to creep into the Sandhills here in the next few hours, but we wouldn't see anything that's heavy. Here's a look at our timing for our WRAL Weather Alert Day. A few isolated showers this morning, and then mid to late afternoon, the thunderstorms begin with a chance for some wind damage and isolated tornadoes. That should be tapering off after midnight. We take a look at our current conditions. Of course, we have this warm front here, some showers and storms in South Carolina. That's going to lift northward and again bring us that potential for a shower this morning. Again, level 2 risk from the Triangle area southward, level 1 risk in the north, and the level 2 risk is where we could see some isolated tornadoes later on today. Here's a look at Futurecast. A little bit of light rain showing up this morning from that warm front in South Carolina that'll be lifting across the area, but minus a few showers. We're fairly quiet up until mid-afternoon. That's when we start to see some of these cells popping up, which could produce some wind damage or an isolated tornado. That continues across our area after dinner time and into the evening. Best chance of severe storms again starts mid-afternoon and continues through the evening. We'll stay fairly quiet this morning. But what we are seeing this morning is this big deck of low cloud cover. Temperatures are in the low 60s, so it's nice and mild, but visibility is down to a quarter of a mile in a few places like the Sandhills. I'll take a closer look at that coming up. It'll be a warm afternoon, highs almost 80 degrees. Ken?
Elizabeth, at 6:02, weather and traffic happening now every 10 minutes here on WRAL. This reminder, that tree that was down on Milburnie Road and North Raleigh Boulevard, nothing to report. The crews have completely moved that out. Not a problem for you this morning. All over the Triangle, all the major routes are delay-free this morning. We're not seeing any problems out there. Taking a closer look in Durham and Chapel Hill, similarly, 885, the Durham Freeway, free and clear this morning.
Thanks, Ken. Also this morning, a person is in custody after a chase ended in a crash. That chase started when the car overturned, or it ended, I should say, when the car overturned on Rock Quarry Road. Nick Perlin was there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker, talking with police about how it got started.
Police chase ended in this car you see right here behind me flipping over on the side of Rock Quarry Road near Ruby Drive in Raleigh. This happened at around 2 this morning. I do want to show you this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. You're going to see this car overturned and badly damaged. This started in Garner, and I'm told by Garner police they chased this car because of a traffic violation. They ended their chase, and then the Wake County Sheriff's Office continued it. At some point, the driver drove off the road. Only one car was involved in this crash. Police tell me one person was also taken into custody. I'm still trying to learn if anybody was hurt in this crash. In Raleigh, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
A possible tornado damaged several homes in the southeastern part of North Carolina. This video shows the apparent tornado on the ground near Whiteville in Columbus County. That's about an hour south of Fayetteville. Emergency officials say 4 homes were damaged. The National Weather Service has not confirmed whether this was a tornado. A fire department in Robeson County shared this photo of trees down. This is from the community of Bowie just outside Lumberton. Several other people in that area also shared photos on social media of trees down around their homes.
We now know the general election matchups for some key races in North Carolina. The Republican candidates for lieutenant governor, auditor, and the 13th congressional district were decided in yesterday's runoff election. Brad Knott secured the nomination in the 13th congressional district, earning more than 90% of the vote over Kelly Daughtry, who withdrew from the race before the vote. So Knott will square off with Democratic candidate Frank Pierce in the November election.
In the auditor's race, Dave Bullock secured the Republican nomination. He edged out his opponent, Jack Clark, with a little more than 53% of the vote. Bullock will face Democratic candidate Jessica Holmes in the general election in November.
Hal Weatherman earned the Republican nomination for lieutenant governor. He got nearly 3/4 of the vote in his runoff against Jim O'Neill. Weatherman will face Democratic nominee Rachel Hunt in November's election.
You can interview today if you're interested in working for the Wake County Sheriff's Office. A career fair starts in 2 hours to help fill vacancies. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live outside the Wake County Detention Center this morning. Kelsey, the Sheriff's Office needs detention officers and nurses.
Renee, they do, and we're just a little less than 2 hours away from that career fair here at the detention center, and the sheriff's office is looking to fill more than 80 positions. They need 78 detention officers and 13 nurses. Sheriff Willie Rose says they assess their staffing levels every 90 days. He says right now current staff is working overtime to meet demand.
Well, anytime that you're short, that's always a concern that staff could be overworked, and then it can impact the performance on the job as well as things at home.
The sheriff's office is offering $5,000 signing bonuses and $1,000 referral bonuses for these positions. The career fair starts this morning at 8 o'clock here at the detention center. You should bring your ID and your resume. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Your time is 6:06 this morning. Good morning. I'm Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center. We're just about 2 hours and 24 minutes away for the Consumer Price Index to be released. But I want to show you what the futures are looking like overnight. You see the S&P 500. The change has been about 2.5 points changing there. The Dow Jones changing about 16 points. The NASDAQ down about 2.75. But again, these are overnight numbers. And the other day, we actually heard from NC State economist Mike Walden kind of talking a little bit about what we could expect today. He says that we have seen some previously disappointing reports before regarding the Consumer Price Index, and he predicts we could see that again today with these numbers. But of course, we'll have a better idea once we see that Consumer Price Index drop at 8:30 this morning, with the bells opening about 30 minutes after that.
Thanks, Chris. Today, the UNC Board of Trustees will gather for the first of 2 days of meetings for this May, and it comes 2 days after they held a special meeting where they voted to revoke funding for diversity, equity, and inclusion programming. Board committees will meet today to discuss business, and at tomorrow's full board meeting, we'll hear comments from Interim Chancellor Lee Roberts. Today's meeting gets started at 12:30 this afternoon.
A lot of excitement for the WNBA season opener. A sold-out crowd was in Connecticut to see Caitlin Clark's debut with the Indiana Fever. Clark led her team in scoring with 20 points. She also struggled a bit, and her team lost the game 92-71. Michelle McConaughey will join us in less than 10 minutes with Clark's reaction to her first WNBA game.
Former President Donald Trump's lawyers will continue to cross-examine his former attorney Michael Cohen when that hush money trial resumes tomorrow. When Cohen took the stand Tuesday, Trump's lawyers focused on comments Cohen has made about Trump on TikTok and in his media appearances. Cohen also told jurors he repeatedly lied about hush money payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels in order to protect Trump. Courtroom reporters say Cohen remained calm and measured throughout the tough questioning.
NC State is challenging a decision to allow outsiders to investigate Poe Hall. Earlier this month, a judge ruled in favor of an NC State alum battling leukemia who petitioned the court to gain access to Poe Hall and depose university leaders. Last year, the university closed the building after several reports of cancer and testing revealed high levels of toxic chemicals. If granted, the appeal could derail attempts to independently investigate Poe Hall, which some workers and alumni believe may have caused their cancers or other illnesses.
Coming up on 6:10 right now on your Wednesday, Boeing could soon face criminal charges over 2 plane crashes. Why the Department of Justice says Boeing violated an agreement that was protecting it.
How would you like to be paid to move to a small town? A look at some of the offers out there as people are moving away from expensive big cities.
New this morning, we have a level 2 risk for severe storms from the Triangle area southward. So it is a WRAL weather alert day. We'll talk about when you can see some strong winds, hail, or isolated tornadoes coming up.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
612 new this morning. We have a level 2 risk for severe storms in our southern counties. This morning, everything is quiet. The storms are likely to develop mid to late afternoon. This morning, we're seeing a little bit of light patchy rain back in western North Carolina, and that may bring some light showers here this morning. We'll take a look at that on Futurecast. But again, we have that level 2 risk from the Triangle area southward. This is where we'd have a better chance for wind damage or isolated tornadoes, a lesser chance up to the north. Rain chances today really start to pick up mid to late afternoon and continue on into the evening with that threat for some of those storms to be severe. The other thing we're dealing with this morning is some low cloud cover and fog. You can see here in Clinton that low cloud cover. In Clinton, our visibility is 3/4 of a mile, but it's down to 1/4 of a mile in Southern Pines and in the Triangle area. Temperatures are in the 60s as you're headed out the door. Ken?
Hi, Elizabeth here in the WRAL Traffic Center. A quiet morning to start with our traffic situation this morning. No major crashes to report in any of our major thoroughfares. And this quick reminder, that tree that was down on Milburnie Road at North Raleigh Boulevard in Raleigh, crews were able to move that away in the last 20 minutes or so. That Milburnie Road is completely open this morning. I know many of you are getting ready to head out. If the Beltline is part of your commute, here's a live look at I-440 and Lake Boone Trail. You can see the westbound lanes picking up a bit, but traffic's flowing smoothly in both directions.
State troopers are still searching for a person who led them on a high-speed chase that ended in a multi-car crash Monday. The driver reached speeds of nearly 150 miles per hour. It ended in Spring Lake. Troopers say they tried to make a traffic stop for reckless driving in Harnett County, but the driver kept going and crossed into Cumberland County in the stolen car. The chase ended with the car crashing into 2 other cars. The driver ditched the car and ran away.
Boeing may now be subject to criminal prosecution related to 737 MAX jet crashes that killed more than 300 people. The Department of Justice accuses Boeing of violating an agreement that was protecting it from criminal charges. The DOJ says Boeing failed to make promised changes to detect and prevent violation of U.S. fraud laws. Boeing could now be prosecuted on charges related to 2018 jet crash in Indonesia and a 2019 crash in Ethiopia.
Basketball superstar Caitlin Clark made her much-anticipated WNBA regular season debut last night. It didn't go exactly as planned. WRAL's Michelle McConaughey is here now with more on the disappointing night for Clark.
Yeah, Renee, not the start that Clark probably had in mind. She turned the ball over 10 times. She found herself in foul trouble early and spent much of the first half on the bench. But then she did score her first career WNBA points about midway through the second quarter and ended up with scoring 20 points. But it was not enough. The Fever lost 92-71. And Clark says, obviously, she's disappointed.
I thought it was physical. I don't know. Obviously, it wasn't like the best start in the first half for myself. Getting into foul trouble, and then you got to sit on the bench and try to come back into the game and get into a little bit of a flow. But obviously, too many turnovers. That's not going to get the job done. But I think just a lot of things to learn from.
Yeah, she says nobody likes to lose, but you can't beat yourself up too much about one game. You just have to learn from it and move on. Their next game is their home opener on Thursday night, and I think she's going to be pretty fired up.
Look, as talented and skilled a player as Caitlin Clark is, there's a learning curve in the WNBA, and so that's going to take some time. Despite her lackluster debut, you know people are still going to be packing the stadiums to watch her play.
Oh, yeah.
Michelle, thanks.
A lot of folks are choosing to live outside major cities because of the high cost of living currently. Some of them are even getting paid to live in smaller towns and stay there. 60 towns across the country are offering payment and other perks for people who are willing to relocate and stay for at least a year. This morning on Today, meet a family who left Baltimore for a small town in West Virginia, and they're not looking back.
What are some of the things you noticed were more expensive back in Maryland, a little bit less expensive now here?
When I go to the grocery store, my grocery bill is less overall.
Our household budget is down. The mortgage is cheaper. The movie theater here is half of what it was in Maryland. You know, it's like $6 to go to a movie.
Coming up at 7 on Today, more about the state and city programs that are offering these great returns on investments and the people who say it is the deal of a lifetime.
It is 6:16, and whether you're in a small town or a big city, you are likely under a level 2 severe weather risk today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. This covers much of our viewing area.
This is new this morning. Yesterday, we were under a level 1 risk for today. So brand new this morning, this level 2 risk includes the triangle area southward, still a level 1 risk in our northern counties. So that level 2 risk means that we could see some isolated tornadoes there. The storms are likely to start mid to late afternoon. We'll have the best risk of damaging winds starting at that time. Some large hail is possible and isolated tornadoes. You may remember, if you happen to be watching yesterday evening, there were some tornado warnings in our southern counties, but we did end up just with some wind damage. I mean, wind damage, bad enough, but we didn't have any tornado damage. And again, this is going to be from the triangle area southward for today. Here's a look at our cold front that's going to help to bring us that chance for showers and thunderstorms, especially as we get into the afternoon and evening. Even behind that front, we see the precipitation starting to intensify as we get into the evening. Here's a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar. We do have some light showers that are back across parts of western North Carolina. Those are edging toward our Sandhills counties, but nothing falling just yet. We did have some very heavy rain yesterday across parts of the region. You can see as much as 1.5 inches here, right here at the eastern part of Harnett County. 3.5 inches was a rainfall estimate. So really a lot of rain yesterday. Really 1 inch to 1.5 inches was our average. Officially at RDU, we saw almost 1.5 inches yesterday, and officially for May, that's about where we are. So we really have gotten most of the rain so far this May, just yesterday. And then, this is above normal. We're at 1.5 inches above normal for May, and that's great news because now we're at about just 0.5 inch down for the year. So we really are making some good strides here in May, catching up from a very dry April. Here's a look at this morning. A few isolated showers, a few scattered thunderstorms this afternoon, and this evening, those waves keep on coming with that potential for some wind damage or isolated tornadoes, especially in our southern counties. We do have fog out there in some places this morning, looking at Clinton there and Apex in particular. Chapel Hill's visibility is looking a little bit better, and Goldsboro is just dealing with some low cloud cover. But we still have the potential for some showers and thunderstorms for the weekend. It's looking like Friday may stay fairly dry, some evening thunderstorms, and then afternoon and evening storms again for Saturday and Sunday. So if you have weekend plans, it's going to feel a lot like summer. It'll be warm with those late day storms. 60% Saturday. Right now it's 30 on Sunday, but that number might go up a little bit. Between now and Sunday, we still have the chance for another 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain, and our temperatures continue to be very pleasant. We do start to dry out by Monday and Tuesday, and highs climb back into the mid 80s. Ken?
Elizabeth, at 6:19, we have a quiet start to the morning commute. If you're just joining us for the first time, I want to remind you that that tree that we've been reporting on that was down along Milburnie Road at North Raleigh Boulevard, that's completely cleared. Milburnie Road is reopened to traffic. No problems to report this morning. No crashes to report this morning. Also in Wake, Durham, and Chapel Hill, all the major thoroughfares are free and clear this morning. Specifically, want to take a closer look at Durham and Chapel Hill, 885, I-40, the Durham Freeway, all flowing smoothly this morning.
Thanks, Ken. The Voice is down to its final 5 now. Only one contestant from North Carolina remains, though. We'll tell you how Tay Lewis and Josh Sanders fared in the semifinal voting last night.
And the first official portrait of King Charles is taking a lot of people by surprise. There it is. Reaction to this very red painting coming up in What's Trending.
And right now, here are your winning NC Education lottery numbers on your screen. We're back with What's Trending in a minute.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
King Charles's first official portrait has a lot of people online scratching their heads.
Yeah, we're going to see why here. Ken Smith here with What's Trending. Ken.
Yeah, Jeff and Renee, check out His Royal Highness in this new portrait that was unveiled. He's in a military uniform on a very red background. Now, many reactions from people online say it looks like something out of a horror movie. Specifically, some say it reminds them of that elevator scene in The Shining. Remember that? Others compared to the portrait from Ghostbusters 2. Goodness.
It's hard to get past all that red, right? That's all you see. But do you see that butterfly over his shoulder? That's supposed to symbolize his transformation into a king. It's bold.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's something.
Did you read all that in yourself? That is fantastic. It's just like a disembodied head in a red pool.
Well, art is in the eyes of the beholder.
It is.
Well, if you're like me, you're very excited about this next story that's trending. It's been nearly 2 years since the first season of House of the Dragon, but fans won't have to wait much longer for more. Max releasing the trailer for the second season of its Game of Thrones prequel. The show hits the streaming service on June 16th. Can't wait.
Yeah, Ken's pumped up about it. When queens war, dragons weep. I don't really even know what that means, but they said it's like one of the most epic civil wars that you'll find in this Westeros world.
Yes.
We'll take you back to it. Got to brush up on all the names, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I know them all, so it's all good.
All right, got you. Ken, thanks. Tonight we'll learn where and when the Carolina Panthers will be playing their 2024 games. The NFL will release its full schedule for the coming season. 8 o'clock tonight. Panthers have 9 home games. They'll only be at Bank of America Stadium for 8 of them, though, because they're also the home team for a game they have in Munich, Germany.
A lot of folks will be excited about this, the new season of Only Murders in the Building, being hyped as the most star-studded yet. A new trailer reveals Melissa McCarthy will be part of the cast. Eugene Levy, Eva Longoria, Zach Galifianakis, Molly Shannon, and many others will also join the show. It will debut August 27th on Hulu.
Oh, that's big stars. It is race week back here at home. North Wilkesboro Speedway, the NASCAR All-Star Race, is back at the historic track for the second year in a row. The action starts today with a late model stock car race, and then it's qualifying Friday. A live concert with Tim Duggar and Neil McCoy. Truck Series race is Saturday, and the All-Star race is Sunday.
The Wake County Sheriff's Office is looking to fill more than 80 job positions. Coming up, how you can secure your interview today.
And new this morning, we have a level 2 risk for severe storms from the Triangle area southward. It is a WRAL weather alert day. I'll show you what time the storms will start and what you can see where you are.
An early morning police chase ends with a crash in Raleigh. That chase started in Garner and involved 3 law enforcement agencies.